the fun thing about the radish is as soon as you harvest it, you can replant another one and they will grow right back, and you can keep harvesting throughout the season.
Hello, my name is Julia and you're watching Steph and Julia's Eden, where we talk about gardening, animals, and homesteading as we move from the suburb to a 10-acre farm. In this video, we show you how we direct sowed seeds in the spring at our suburban home of a wide range of veggies, including radishes, carrots, snap peas, lettuce, kale, onions, corn, and beets.
So we're going to use half the shady spot. This is a nice big long bed. It is in the most shaded, secluded, we call it our secret garden spot. That's why our leafy greens actually do pretty well in here. I'm going to do just did 4 trenches halfway across the bed, and this will be 3 of lettuce, 1 of kale. Just regular green lettuce. They will be 1.3 centimeters deep and 2.5 centimeters apart. So these ones, you're pretty much just sprinkling right across. Purple lettuce, very similar to the green lettuce as far as spacing, a little less deep, half a centimeter deep there. Third row, all red lettuce as well. Kale also needs to be at only 0.5 centimeters deep. So just a light brushing with your hand over the seeds. A little deeper for the green lettuce at 1.5. So it's really easy. You just read the back of the seed packet. It'll tell you exactly the depth, spacing, and row spacing in between each plant. Now carrots are going to be in my second row. Carrots don't need a whole lot of depth. 6 millimeters. Think about 6 millimeters. How deep is that? Just about a little more than half a centimeter. In Canada, it's all in the metric system, so sorry if you don't understand. But they'll barely need any sort of earth on top of them, just a thin layer. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually gonna overseed so I can thin them out later. In our experience doing carrots, this actually works a little better. Little carrot seeds actually need some sunlight, which is why they're buried so shallow. Radishes are some of our favorites because they sprout out extremely fast. They'll be ready in a month or so. So the fun thing about the radish is as soon as you harvest it, you can replant another one and they will grow right back, and you can keep harvesting throughout the season. So we have the watermelon radish and the red radish. So these ones, the watermelon radish, actually need a bit more spacing than the red radish compared to the 4 centimeters in between each seed. For that one, these ones are about 8 to 10. So both radish types are going to be 1.5 centimeters deep. So less than the snow peas, which was 2.5, but of course much more than our carrots, which are only. I use my shovel and estimation. So snow peas 2.5 centimeters deep. Of course we're not measuring, using approximation. And now we're gonna water it. So when our seeds start sprouting, it becomes like candy to the birds around here. We've got the impression that some of the reasons we've had trouble with our carrots in the past that they get eaten by birds that fly right in. As extra protection, what we do, we have this bird protective netting. It's harmless, not a bird has gotten caught in it, but I let it float over top of my garden bed, and it has stopped the birds last year, and we're hoping it'll do the same effect this year. And we're gonna put the same protection for our lettuce. We had the one year where they were picking them off just as they were starting to get nice beyond the sprouting stage. And we kept noticing giant holes in our leaf row. And one day we woke up to see that birds were in there just eating what they pleased and flying away.
So Stefan is gonna plant our scarlet runner bean.
4 centimeters or 1.5 inches.
Deep?
Yeah. So
Okay.
kind of like I use my thumb.
Yeah, about your thumb.
About 4 centimeters. I enjoy planting beans. You know why? Look at the seeds. The seeds look like little dinosaur eggs. They're big, they're easy to plant. You can't lose them.
It's about I want to say early to mid-June right now.
Correct.
So we have a lot of beans though. So if these don't come up and they just fail, we can try again in a couple weeks if it's a bit too cold. This is a plant that really likes warm.
Luckily, it's going to rain very heavily over the next 3 days too.
There he goes. Whoa, he's fast.
Yeah. Taller than us, probably.
How many in feet would you say?
Corn can go up to, I would say, 7.5 feet, something crazy. We are going to grow 2 different types of onions. I've got red onions, yellow onions. Later on, once we can guarantee that there's no more frost at night, we'll be growing this one. It's a white Lisbon bunching onion. So it's not gonna produce that bulb, what you think of an onion. It's only gonna produce the green onion that sprouts out on top. Right now we have our kale and lettuce planted on half of this bed. We're going to plant these onions on the other half. So we might do 2 rows of yellow onion, 2 rows of red onion, and 1 or 2 rows of the bunching onion, depending on how I feel the space comes in. Now, of course, in between rows, like I just said, about a foot in between rows. Right now, I just completed my first one. You can't see it, but it's right there. We've always found it to be pretty spaced out, the 2 years that we've done the onions in the past. We're actually gonna experiment a bit and try closing that gap and not making it a foot in between each row. Maybe making it 6 inches or so. Okay, for both the red and yellow onions, they gotta go 3 centimeters down, about 6 to 8 centimeters apart in a row, and each row needs to be about almost a foot away from each other. So in this bed, I can do about 3 rows. And also remember, planting the onion, the root goes to the bottom, and the pointy part goes on top. It's a loud intercom over there. Can you hear that?
I don't know if they can hear it. Hopefully you guys can't hear the school down the road making some sort of announcement.
Can't wait to move to a farm away from people.
So each of our garden beds has this chicken wire around it to keep our silkie chickens out.
It discourages the cats from coming in. But our cats are just too good. They get in there if they really want to.
Can you see what you're doing?
Red onion.
So Sean's just planted 2 rows of yellow. Now we're going red. So we're working on the garden and we saw 2 hawks flying overhead. And they're just circling. Oh my gosh, a third one, 3 hawks. Makes us very worried for our chickens.
Here, look.
So Stefan, tell us what this is.
Scott's hydrator. Basically it lets you put any liquid inside, and with a hand pump you pressurize it, and you can use a 3-type nozzle to deliver the water or liquid or whatever it is.
This is great for fertilizing plants, especially young plants that might be sensitive to being fertilized. So we've put our diluted worm tea into this, and Stefan now is fertilizing our line of radishes, carrots, and peas. Some of the radishes have already come up. It's only been about, would you say, about a week?
Not even.
Yeah, and you see that beautiful line coming up? Those I think are our regular radishes, if I'm not mistaken. And the watermelon radishes are over there. And what's great about this type of spray is it delivers the nutrients in a liquid form, which is immediately available to the plants. Unlike some potting mixes that have a slow release fertilizer, which releases very slowly. If you have leftover worm tea after doing all of your plants, you can just dump it in the compost.
The onions are looking good.
Here's our kale. It's this one, it's purple, you can see.
Yeah, the purple one.
It's hard to see, but There, you can see our beautiful purple lettuce coming up in droves. And over here, I believe we planted our kale in the back. It's also super happy, coming up like crazy.
Little sprouts of lettuce have now grown 2 weeks in. We're just going to go, I like to clear some of the weeds away and thin out also our herd so it's not too crowded.
To see how these crops grow and the recipes we make with our organic homegrown veggies, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss an episode.